Hey guys, welcome back to Diecast Reviews. So I'm doing a mini racer unboxing. As you can see, we've got 4 mini boxes here and then a 3-pack. So really no intro needed there. We'll just be doing a little mini unboxing, just opening them up and taking a little closer look at them. I've done, of course, a couple of these in the past few months. This is so far the last one I have planned for May. I think I did one, February, March, April, May. It's just kind of the last one I have planned. Hopefully new mini racers will come out soon, because these are, of course, older, so hopefully new ones will come out soon that we can take a look at over the summer. But for now, this is kind of the last mini racer unboxing I have planned, but let's get right into it, right? No intro needed, just let's get right into it. So let's take a look at this 3-pack first. I got Chase Racelott, Conrev, and Jackson Storm. This is from a couple of years ago. But just open it up here. I've seen Jackson Storm before, so we'll take a look at Conrev and Chase Racelott. Those are the two we'll take a closer look at. But now we'll just open them up. Take a look at them a little bit later. Gotta get your token Jackson Storm inclusion in these 3-packs, of course. Jackson, Cruz, or McQueen. And there's Conrev. So other than that, let's just get right into the mini racer unboxing. I'm not actually sure what's in here, so there's the code, but I don't know which exact ones are in here. This looks like Jim Reverick, a next gen. Pretty cool. Fits perfectly with the other 3 there. That's the code for that one. Todd the Pizza Planet Truck. Oh, it's some plastic wrapping too here, but that's a big one. Nice matte finish. Really cool. I always love Todd the Pizza Planet Truck. And there's the code for that one. You can see that this has a kind of just a normal one. Normal packaging style here. All of these, well, this one's horizontal and this one's vertical. This one's also vertical. And then this one you can see has the Cars on the Road packaging style. So these are kind of different ways, I guess. And another next gen, George NewWin. Clearly the theme here is next gens. And of course you can see Cars on the Road here. So I'm assuming this is just a card. It's either going to be a card. It's one of the newer ones. Well, newer than those, I guess. But I'm not sure if it's going to be Cars on the Road related or not. And I think that's Sally. Pretty cool. So a townie to end it off. But these are the ones we have. So let's dive in for a closer look. So here they all are out of the package. We'll take a look at the 3-pack first and then get into the singles. But we just kind of take a look at them quickly here. Jackson Storm, well, we've all seen him before, so really not much to go over here. But here's Chase Racelott. Pretty cool. He's probably, I wouldn't say he's my favorite NASCAR connection. Honestly, probably at the bottom. Him and Danny Suarez are the bottom 2 for me. Bubba Wheelhouse and Ryan Inside Lane are definitely the top 2 in terms of NASCAR next gens. The ones that are, in the movie, not the extracurricular ones or whatever, extra world ones. But of the ones that were actually in the movie, yeah, he and Danny are at the bottom, unfortunately. Of course, he's based on real-life driver Chase Elliott. Of course, 24 is what Chase drove when the movie came out, but of course it's been updated to 9, so the new NASCAR releases have him with the number 9. This is Conrev, the bumper save racer. Of course, Chase is driving for Vitoline. I do like that bumper save logo. And Paul's bumper save's kind of a notable team. They released the Cars 1 hauler, Cars 1 crew, the pitties and crew chief for the Cars 1 pitty and crew chief. That set was quite rare, as was the hauler. But they did release it. Then they released the Cars 3 stock car hauler, and then they released Paul Conrev's hauler. So I'm not really sure why bumper save is so popular with Mattel, but they released a lot of crews from it. Basically have the whole lineup. All you need is a next gen pitty and crew chief and Cars 3 stock car pitty and crew chief. Unlikely that we're ever gonna get those. So we got almost as much as we can for bumper save. Pretty cool. Definitely, I don't know, very popular team for Mattel. I wouldn't say that it's it's certainly a decent team. Bumper save definitely up there for me as well. So I do appreciate Mattel releasing it, but a lot of it for a lot of stuff for it, but just kind of interesting that they choose to do it. But there's Paul Conrev and Chase Racelott along with the Jackson from the 3-pack. But now, let's get into the singles. Let's continue this new next-gen trend with George NewWin here, the leakless next-gen. Leakless, kind of an OG sponsor from Cars 1, of course, and kind of one of the more well-known sponsors with Claude Scruggs, the leakless racer, of course, having a notable role in the first movie, with him being part of the kind of crash, upside down and all, and leakless kind of being released early on in Cars 1 and all that. Got a crew and a team as well, so leakless, a more notable sponsor. Interesting that the next gen took a little longer to release. He was definitely one of the later ones to be released. But yeah, George NewWin's a nice rendition, I will say, of the next gen. I really like the way the yellow and black work together. Yellow and black is a cool design scheme, but the way that they work on the next gen, especially here, is really, really cool. I wouldn't say that Cars 1 leakless was ever my favorite. Solidly mid-tier, I would say, but the next gen is really nice. I do really like it. 52, of course, the classic leakless number. Nice splat there. Well, splat, really cool. And I got a version of it there on the hood as well. There's the roof, 52. Spoiler with the leakless logo and the oil kind of stuff. And then you go to the back here with the rookie stripes and all that. Pretty cool. Definitely a nice next gen to have. And a nice next gen in general, and a nice next gen, of course, to have in mini racer form. Definitely better than either of those three, I would say. Just a really solid next gen. I do enjoy George NewWin. So let's move on to Sally, kind of a classic, of course. Radiator Springs Town, does not need much introduction. Interesting that there is Porsche licensing. Well, not interesting, but kind of, I'm assuming that needs to have some extra licensing on the package or something. I'm looking at it here. Sure enough, license there. So pretty cool. Because Mattel lost the Ferrari license. Not that it's related to Porsche, but they did lose the Ferrari license, which is why they don't release any Ferraris anymore. In Hot Wheels, or of course Cars 1 with Michael Schumacher, Ferrari, they released them once or twice, and they're done because they've lost that license, so they can't release them, and that would explain why we haven't seen any Ferraris from Cars 2, and of course there was a lot of Ferraris in Cars 2. And of course, we haven't seen them. Interesting here that the trunk is open. Usually it's closed on the Mattel releases, but interesting there that it's open. You do have her license plate, which is nice. But, of course, not much to go over. I will say the proportions seem a little off, but with the mini racer, the fact that it's a mini racer, smaller, can't really blame Mattel or hold them too accountable, but they just seem a little off. And the expression is not the best, but, not bad. Nice to get another townie in the mini racer collection. Moving on, let's go to Jim Reverick. Speaking of next gens who were released late, Jim Reverick was the final next gen to be released, final Piston Cup racer from Cars 3 to be released. Not counting Apple, of course, those are not happening. Those are not getting released. Although Tomica did an Apple, which I thought was really interesting, but I'm not sure if that's something to do with the fact that Tomica's a Japanese company and Apple's American. I don't think so. But it was interesting that Tomica got the license and was able to make an Apple car, and Mattel can. If anything, it would seem like it would be easier for Mattel to make it, because Mattel's also an American company. But regardless, interesting that Tomica made a next-gen Apple, and Mattel has not. But Jim Reverick, the last next-gen to be released. Certainly not the worst next-gen. I do like kind of the metallic green he's got and the metallic blue. Carbon Cyber is, of course, a new sponsor for Cars 3, unlike Leakless, which is an OG sponsor. Carbon Cyber, brand new sponsor. Bobby Rodesta, I think, was one of the last stock cars released as well, so they really kind of pushed Carbon Cyber to the end in every sense. But nice design, I do like it. I actually believe the Jim Reverick Mini Racer dropped before, or maybe around the same time. I can't recall, but I think there was the Tomica Jim Reverick, of course, came out a long time before the Mattel. I think the Mini Race was kind of at the same time or a little earlier than the 155 scale. I could just be completely making that up and misremembering something, but it feels like to me the Mini Racer came out a little earlier than the 155 scale Diecast. But pretty cool there. Nice next gen. I do like, of course, as well, the next gens. Of course, they're different models in the 155 scale version. And you can see that there's slightly different models here in the Mini Racers as well, different castings. They're not just one size fits all for these Mini Racers. They do actually take the time to make different castings for them. It's pretty cool. And last but certainly not least, Todd the Pizza Planet truck, Pixar's favorite Easter egg, and I will admit it is mine too. From Toy Story to Cars to whatever other movie. I think it's appeared in every single movie except maybe one, but certainly in Monsters, it's Monsters Inc. It's everywhere, and it's even in Cars on the Road if you in the background of the B movie episodes. Really cool, just the best Easter egg out there, and it just makes sense that it would be in Cars. Of course, it's a movie, but if Pixar movie, it would be in there. But he fits Cars particularly well. Pizza Planet there, nice expression. Got the Pizza Planet kind of rocket ship up there on the roof. This also implies that pizzas are a thing. Well, of course they're a thing, but this implies that like pizza delivery services are a thing in the Cars universe, which is pretty cool. Of course, he was in the Demolition Derby in Cars 3, which is a really interesting place to find him at, considering he was in Los Angeles in Cars 1, in Radiator Springs in Cars 2, and then in the Demolition Derby in Cars 3, which was, Radiator Springs is kind of in the Phoenix area, or in Arizona anyways, Los Angeles in California, and the Demolition Derby, I would assume, it was implied it was kind of in North Carolina or somewhere in the East Coast, so he gets around. Todd the Pizza Planet truck certainly gets around here in the Cars universe, but it's just a really cool release. Yo on the back, of course. And the license plate, I do believe that is the correct license plate. Rest 153. I think this something has to do with, I think this is like the rest stop number or something that was in Toy Story, so I think that's some kind of reference there. Or maybe this was just the license plate that was in Toy Story, I don't know, but certainly that license plate, I would assume, has some sort of meaning. But yeah, really, really cool, and definitely nice to get him in mini racer form. Of course, we've got him released a couple of times. He was released in Cars. The Cars 3 version was surprisingly clean. You would think it would be dirty because he was in the Demolition Derby, but it was actually a clean version of Todd the Pizza Planet truck. The previous versions were kind of dirtier. And he was re-released recently as well. But it's just a really cool release. And yeah, he's definitely the star of this unboxing, in my opinion. Which, speaking of, we've kind of gotten to the end of it here. So let me know what you guys thought, what your favorites were down in the comments below. These are definitely my top 3 here. And, of course, Todd the Pizza Planet truck, front and center. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think of all these mini racers we have opened up here today. And like I said, kind of the last mini racer unboxing for the foreseeable future, unless, of course, Mattel decides to drop a bomb and announce some new mini racers. They haven't done so yet. 2025 mini racers are kind of out a little. New 2025 mini racers have come out. I think I reviewed a couple of them, but nothing really that interesting. So unless some new mini racers come out, this is the end for the foreseeable future. I of course assume new mini racers will be coming out, but hopefully some new releases, something interesting. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this unboxing. Let me know which one is your favorite down in the comments below. Like I said, Todd the Pizza Planet truck is mine. But other than that, thank you for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.